can access the recording.
All right, let's get started then.
Yeah, I'll quickly share my screen. Give me 1 minute. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome all for today's session. Thank you so much for joining us. We know it is an afternoon session, a graveyard shift, but please, uh, we would want your attention here. So yes, today is 17th April, a very significant day in NASA's history and also history of humanity. Apollo 13th apparently returned to Earth on 17th April, so 41 years ago. But why do I bring out this reference? Um, Apollo 13th was the third mission which was launched to reach Moon, and unfortunately, on the way, they discovered that the oxygen tank developed a snag. So you see here on the right hand side, the tiles had broken off, and they knew that they couldn't land on Moon. But luckily, the crew was smart enough. Instead of landing on Moon, they went around Moon and then returned back to Earth. So this was a unlucky, lucky mission wherein everybody returned safely back to Earth. And the reason why I bring this example today is because humanity is on such a trajectory, such an unlucky trajectory of the pandemic across. And the innovators and entire humanity, I would say, would have to find back the trajectory to normalcy. So, having said that, a lot of innovators and entrepreneurs in our cohort, uh, current as well as the previous cohorts, have been leading the way in fighting the battle against Corona. So, in our cohort, we have a startup called Watson as well as Dial 4242 who have been doing great stuff. Watson has come up with the design for a plasma disinfection system. They're already manufacturing face shields and protective incubator hoods. I'm sure this is being put to good use in South India right now as we speak. Dial 4242 has been come as a blessing for the people of Mumbai. As we see here, the tweets by Mumbai police, wherein people who are stranded and need urgent medical attention cannot easily find modes of transport to reach hospitals. So Mumbai police is responding to such citizen requests by tagging on dial 4242, and dial 4242 has been able to service such requests, which is really commendable. And we also see here a lot of user feedback, customer feedback rather, I should say, which is really tremendous. A great job, Chandra sir and
Deserve a
Jeetu.
round of applause.
Yes, they deserve a round of
Fantastic, right?
applause.
Thanks, Ekanto.
Moving on to our previous cohorts, we had two startups mentioned here. Basic Shit. They primarily manufacture mobile toilets. So they have repurposed their structure, which they use for the toilets, and have come up with full body disinfection chamber. This They successfully implemented the first prototype at the Ambedkar Hospital here in Rohini, New Delhi, and it's been working well. They have also received requests from the Bhagalpur Smart City, and we are trying to get that deal closed. Then we have a startup called PadCare. They have some expertise in the UV technologies, and they have come up with two products. One is an area sanitizer, and the other is the portable hand sanitizer to disinfect surfaces in hospitals and public places. Next, we have another startup from our previous cohort called MedSaman. They have been listed as a startup working to solve challenges related to COVID-19 on the healthcare innovations in Indian healthcare platform. And they are also a registered supplier of COVID-related products in Delhi NCR region. and have been recognized so by the Invest India and Startup India. And also, I would like to mention about an ongoing project at the Ashoka University. The team has come up with a fully functional respirator prototype, which you see on the right-hand side of the screen. So, as we mentioned, these cases, we all understand that COVID-19 has caused some disruption. Some would be an understatement, has caused disruption in our lives and in businesses. And specifically for this reason, innovators and entrepreneurs like you have to rise up to the occasion, and we have experts for this to help you deal with any of your queries which you might have. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Matthew Isaac and Mr. Ramkrishnan Venkateshwaran. Both of them are from Venture Bean Consulting, and they have had a great range of experience earlier. And how I got to know about them is through another COVID-19 related business webinar, which I had the opportunity to attend. And I really enjoyed Ramkrishnan sir's session. So here I tried to get him, and he was very kind enough to join us today. So, Ramkrishnan sir, it's all over.
Thank you, Ekanto. Thank you so much. I also have my colleague Matthew Isaac here. Matthew, if you could
Welcome,
give
sir.
them a brief about Venture Bean, and then we'll take it forward.
Yeah, hi guys, this is Matthew, and just if that's me. Hi, working from home. Okay, great to be on this. I'll just give you a quick brief about Venture Bean. We are a management consulting firm, a growth consulting firm, and we've been in business for the last 7.5 years, close to 8. And we've worked with over 200 plus firms across our 3 main verticals, which is business, people, and capital. And for the business side, it is on business consulting and scaling, looking at growth. And the capital side, it is fundraising, due diligence, and the CFO services. And the people side, we work very closely with firms on building their people competencies. Okay, we have worked a lot with a lot of SMBs, and a key question I'd like to ask you with is, what are the challenges do you think are SMEs like you are early stage companies? Okay, what are the critical 1 or 2, 3 things that you are talking about? Let me give you a few scenarios. Today I was on a call with a guy who runs a 300 member organization, and his team services clients like IBM, etc. So I got into the call, and we were having a conversation. He's the CEO of the company. Don't get me wrong when it's saying, I said, hey, hi, how are things going with you? How are you coping? And he says, sir, kuch nahi, sir, bartan do raha hu. Okay, jokes apart, that's exactly what all of us are doing. There is a few things. Okay, all I'm trying to say is people are still trying to figure out what the new normal is. And I have a question for you, which I want to how many of us
and more importantly, we would like you to look at those challenges which you would have faced pre-COVID and those which you are likely to face post-COVID.
Yep. And the key thing here is, what I'm asking is, how many of us in this call have an existential crisis? Do we know that whether we have a business going forward or no? Second, how many of us know that, hey, you know what, I made some innovations, I know I can sustain, but then I don't know how to scale it up going forward. These are some of the things that we'd like to try and dwell on. And so please feel free to ask your questions in terms of what are the concerns that you see right now. RK?
Yeah.
So yes, Chandra, sir, you had a query.
Yeah, I suppose someone from Watson has got a query. Please, Mr. Yes. Chandra, you could go ahead and ask us.
Yeah, it's simple, sir. I've been to run pillar to post. Just to open up a shop, instead of having the MSME approval. Approval is half-baked approval. They just give a vehicle pass. Okay. With the vehicle pass, I cannot open the factory door, or I can bring in people to work. What Shields I could have done in 1 day's 10,000 sets, it took 1 week for me to do 100 sets by begging people around. So if this is the plight of an innovator who is ready to plunge in my own money, beg, borrow, but not steal, and ready to give immediate solution. We have already started manufacturing 2,000 face shields, which was needed by Railway Hospital. Because my own classmates are chief doctors there. They felt the advantage of my face shield, which is reusable, sterilize and reuse. Because today the pandemonium is happening, something beyond COVID is the plastic disposal. All the OHP film and file films have become face shields. People are just misusing that, putting a hairband on it and say call it as innovation, and they are just dumping. Once the doctor uses it, he is throwing out. Today in Chennai, almost 8 tons of the PET film is already out, lying in the air. Scavengers are picking it up, giving it to people to clean it in hot water. It is being recycled to the dealers and distributors who are again supplying OHP films to these type of maverick manufacturers. And they are making good money, whereas we are not even able to run the show properly. Why there is not a proper directive saying that the innovator has to have one single window pass where he can open up the shop, put people, obviously with the safe social distancing, with all the norms, I wear mask and whatnot, put sanitizer and everything in place and do it. But that is not happening at all. I can't buy any accessories like hairband, rubber band, foam. So this is the plight, sir.
Yeah.
And we
So,
are written to everybody through all social media possible.
yeah,
In
yeah,
RSS, tweet, everything, but
so
nothing else.
while trying to maintain a little bit of restricted approach to this, we feel see what has actually happened because of the COVID pandemic is there's a fear psychosis which has already crept in. Okay, in order to address the situation in the most positive way, what government has done is to really focus on lives, saving lives more than anything else. Okay, while we are also of the belief that lockdown and to the extent of whatever is happening is not a solution. Unfortunately, the ones who have already infected have to be completely isolated and treated before the fear becomes much more pronounced and it engulfs the whole system. As it is, this is becoming much more pronounced. Okay, what is going to happen post the lockdown is another bigger task, which unfortunately not many of them have really dwelled into. Okay, see, the best possible way for the government also could have been to sort of uh, 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 give the governance to the states rather than driving everything top down. Okay, but unfortunately, it is every state behaves in its own independent way. Probably the government felt that it has to come from the top, and so that it will slowly percolate. Okay, we just hope that this lockdown is not for long. Maybe after 20th there will be a significant reduction in all these restrictions, and most likely businesses will come back to normal.
In that case,
Yeah.
I have an add-on question.
Yes.
How come Anand Mahindra can open up Kandivali shop and do lakhs and lakhs of items and stuff like that and put it in Twitter?
That is-
We also legitimately a registered small SSI startup. We
Yeah.
have all the Udyogada startup, GST, we are paying everything, and we cannot get the same liberty. Who told him to open the unit then?
Absolutely.
Rule has to be same to everybody then.
Yes, yes. Is it definitely applicable? It's definitely applicable to everyone.
Then how he
think, sir, your
has
question is
floated the
very-
rule? No,
Yeah.
he'll float the rule and also pay 150 crore as the PM fund. I don't want any of them. I'm neither begging nor donating.
Yeah.
I want to follow the rule throughout to everybody. Small
This is a
and
classic
SMEs
situation.
SMEs are contributing 80% of your
This
PM.
is a classic situation for the SMEs.
So why
Okay,
can't we
this is-
sue him? My hands are tied. I'm not able to do 2,000
Absolutely.
free
Absolutely.
shields for railway hospital, which is close to me.
Yeah. No, we are with you. We totally understand. We
Totally in the web and the Twitter and other thing, and PM will congratulate him.
Yes, Mr. Chandra, we totally agree with you.
I am denied them.
This has been a major problem, and
That is the
the
reason we are asking
the brunt is actually being faced by the SMEs. Okay,
No,
SMEs and
absolutely.
startups. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, Chandra sir, your point is well taken, and that frustration, you're not alone in that frustration.
Yeah.
I'm part of a number of startup community groups, and so is Manish. And I think what you are expressing is exactly what a lot of other startups are going through.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate, and we're trying to make as much noise as we can at the right levels and platforms, but that's the way it is. So really hope, and for whatever it is, we congratulate you and thank you for the contribution you are making. But unfortunately, that's the way the system works right now. So anyway, back to RK sir.
Sorry, can I just add on this? This is one Matthew here. I just want to add on this. See, in times like this, especially in a crisis, and this is when we are dealing with people, we find this even in organizations, there will be enough number of frustrations and feeling of being let down, which will come in from government bodies or from colleagues or from other vendors, whatever.
Yeah.
Crisis is just that, but it is important for all of us as individuals and especially as team, as people who manage a business or a team. Our first thing is it's critical to count our blessings. Chandra sir, I am really amazed at the impact that you're having. Okay, and I am saying you please be that beacon of hope for all of us. We understand there are frustrations which will pull you down, but it's important for all of us as leaders to keep the focus on maybe 1 out of 10 things will work, but it will work. And I always have this example. The wall of Berlin came down 1 brick at a time. Okay, the first brick has to fall. So you please don't lose hope because there are frustrations. Okay, it is through those frustrations and those challenges and those crises that you have been able to innovate and create such a large impact on that. First time I'm meeting you, Chandra sir.
Sir, okay. Another thing, sir. Sorry to interrupt. I'll not ask any more questions. Just a suggestion.
No. Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Just put a common COVID GST number. Waive the GST straight away 0%, so that all the manufacturers will be happily doing whatever. With all the trouble we have, we are going to fight and we are going to win. That's the point.
Correct.
That's why we are entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
That's why we are entrepreneurs, right? We are different than others. I have already opened my shop. I am running it, explaining the police calmly. I give him also a few shields, telling him you wear it so that you don't need to buy daily. So they are also happy. Now I made friends with all my people around, so we are able to break the ice.
Yes.
So that's not the issue.
Chandra,
Solution, PPE, for example.
Yeah.
Everybody are misusing that word. Every Tom, Dick and Harry who can stitch are giving PPE and they are being flopping out, risking the lives of doctor. Government can source, fix the price and give rolls to people like in Tirupur and other places, which is a textile hub.
Yeah.
Fix the price also per PPE. This is the price and you allow them to stitch. Number 1.
Yes.
Number 2, why can't there be a common GST number with all these products will come under that and make it 0? Neither government beg for donation nor do anything. Simply make it 0. Waive GST. We all will give thousands and lakhs of pieces. Make in India. Why do you import from China?
Now, RK, do you want to talk about how you have been channelizing your suggestions and a few more of the professionals into trying and getting it heard in the government circles?
Yes, I could. These are the points which I'm noting down,
yes,
Matthew, because I'm part of the India SME Forum.
Yes.
I will definitely take it up in this manner. This is one very good suggestion, creating a common GST number. And because most of them have been asking for waiving of GST for the time being.
Yes.
But this is not going to be a short-term issue. This is going to be definitely at least for the next 12 months.
Sir, another last suggestion, sir. For a lot of innumerable innovators for ventilators and whatnot, all the professors and IITMs who are sitting pretty in their cascade can come out, create a team of professionals who can accredit and certify the product spot on.
Yes.
Instead of me going to the lab and wasting my time there, spending reels and reels of papers, application, put it to IP and all those things, these teams can be mobilized. Under the collector can give them a vehicle. They can go spot on, check that innovation. If it is good, give a certificate straight away. Same way PPE. If the tailor uniting is teaching as per the norms, you give a certificate straight away and accredit that and come out. And put a rider. If you default and if you don't maintain social distancing and the sanitation methodology, we will suck you out. Put a rule, put a knife and put also the rule, make it visible, because all these professors and lecturers who are well learned than us can become a mobile testing authorities and units where you can certification can happen quick. And then you ask me what is Make in India, we will prove within 1 month we will throw away COVID out of the country. We not import even one single item from China.
Chandra sir, your suggestions are very practical, and I think what you have to keep doing is coming up with more suggestions and generate it
I'm
out.
starting a Supandi column, sir, because if I say I'm starting tomorrow, Supandi is simple questions, simple tense question.
Yeah.
I will send you the copy also. It's Supandi. I am a good cartoonist. You would have seen my cartoons in LinkedIn. I'm going to put some nice cartoon, make it happy, so that if they want to laugh off, let them laugh off. If they want to think serious, let them think serious. Yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
We'll channelize these things. We just keep
Yeah.
those things coming. This is good.
Absolutely.
Chandra sir, adding to your last point, wherein the IITs or the good institutions could be made certification authorities, this is a very valid point because the disinfection chamber which was installed here in Delhi, they also faced the similar problem wherein the certification became a real issue, and because of it, sale could not be made for quite some time. So yes, that is one problem which the startups are facing.
These professors are really happy. If you call them, they will happily come and do this service. They are also
Exactly.
frustrated sitting in their home and labs for ages and not able to do anything, even though they are well-learned people, right? We believe
Yeah,
all
and-
people, we have to give them that authority.
And one thing which we believe is whether it is during this pandemic period or
Or any
post
other time,
that,
yes.
post that. Okay,
Yeah.
the critical things which should become a habit are conserve, control, collaborate, and co-create. Okay.
Yes.
So unless and until these 4 or 5 C's to hit the bigger C of COVID, it is not. It's something which is going to be difficult. Okay. And more importantly, please maintain your compassion, because at this point in time, holding on to employees, even if you have to give them just a basic subsistence salary, is very critical, because once the situation improves, there is always a chance that there would be a V-shaped recovery, and you will never be able to latch on to your employees at that point in time if you are not compassionate at this point in time.
RK, can you just repeat those 5 C's again?
Yeah, conserve whatever you have. So when I say conserve, it is very important for startups to conserve their cash flow. It is, you will have to isolate the essentials and the non-essentials. The non-essentials, as far as possible, try to remove them from the system, whether it is now or thereafter. There are certain non-essentials which always creep into systems, and you end up spending too much of time and money on that. Okay. The other thing which we say is control is also related to this specific C of conservation. As much as possible, try to control all your essentials as well. So if even within essentials, can there be more efficiency being created into the system, trying to understand which are the real ones which can be controllable. So when we say control, as much as possible, we want to focus on kill bill. Okay, killing all those bills which are non-essential, killing all those bills which can be controlled, so on and so forth. The third one, as I have mentioned, is the compassion, because at this point in time, the first resort for anyone, for whether it is an SME or a large corporate, they tend to look at their easy targets, which are the employees, and they lay off. Okay, this happened in 2008 when the financial crisis hit the country. Most of the companies went on laying off their people without even understanding what could happen if there is a V-shaped recovery. Okay, see, India is a consuming economy, a significant, big, very large domestic consumption economy. Is there a possibility to revisit those things and see how we can hold on to our critical resources? And when I say critical resources, it is the employees. Just for the sake of being penny wise pound foolish, we try to cut those employees and say just go on a rampant layoff thing. Unfortunately, the moment you see a V-shaped thing, the same employee is going to cost you at least 2 or 3 times more. It is happening in the drivers or your blue collared employees sector. These people are at least now costing more than 40%. Why does that happen? Because most of the people have now left for their respective hometowns. Most of them are not likely to come back. And as much as we lose that compassion, these are the people who become very critical for us when we have the opportunities. At this point in time, it is better to see how we can address that issue in a more focused manner. The other is collaboration. So when Chandra sir told us about the reaching out to IITians, the professors and so on and so forth, even collaboration can happen between two companies. There are resources which may not be there for one company, and critical resources may be there with other company. For example, working capital facilities. The working capital facility in one company is available, but they don't have the orders. Whereas there are companies which have orders, can reach out to these companies, and they can actually collaborate for them and try to ensure that these orders are at least executed. Forget getting the profit or the higher margin, so on and so forth. At least the costs can be addressed. Okay. The other thing is obviously the co-create. There are many. Most of you are innovators. There could be many areas where there could be a synergy. Can we reduce costs due to this synergy by by partaking more of each other's work? Is there a possibility for collaborating and doing things rather than competing? Okay, you could be in an area where both your products could be of different audience, but at the end of the day, the skill sets required to produce this could be similar. Why not co-create? So some of these things could be new norms. Okay, as innovators, it is not about only product innovation. It could be service innovation. It could be thinking innovation. Right, Matthew?
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, Ekandro.
Yeah, I guess Rajni sir, you too had a question, right, sir?
Ekando, I have a question too. Whenever
Go
you
ahead,
guys
go
are
ahead.
free.
Yeah, please.
Go ahead, Jitu.
Okay, so to start with, Ekando has stated what we are doing right now. Mumbai Police has tweeted about us multiple times. In fact, right now we have become like a partner to them.
Dial
And
4242.
Yeah, dial 4242.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Mumbai Police, if they have any requirement, where people are talking about ambulance, they are sending it back to us, kind of thing. So that is it has been the biggest support or endorsement we could have ever got. Okay, that Mumbai Police is tweeting to dial 4242 ambulance service and telling people to use their ambulances. So it has been a good opportunity. Corporates have started taking us seriously. There are a few corporates who have already signed a major deals with us. At the same time, the challenge that we are facing with limited funds and a limited team, we are not able to reach out to a very larger set of people or corporates. And one of the things that you stated that in this time, we need to ensure that the cash flow remains. So for us, the challenge is whether we go aggressive because honestly, it's an opportunity for us, or we also play a little safe. So this is a challenge that we are facing, kind of a thing. While it's an opportunity, but I don't know whether we can go full-fledged on this.
See, going full-fledged is in an opportunity time is something which is a human tendency. Okay, but from a business sense, one has to look at what are all the risks which are involved in going full-fledged. More importantly, if at all a company is working with the government as a customer, it is important for that company to address government as much as distanced as possible. The reason
So
being,
just to clarify, government is not our customer. They have just seen our services and they are just tweeting back to us. So they are not our customer. It's not like we have a deal with them.
fine.
Okay.
They are endorsing you, right, Jitu?
Yeah, they are endorsing us.
Then that's a great thing to be. So
Go ahead, okay. After you, I'll.
So going full throttle, yes, is important, but there are two sides to this going full throttle. One is, as a startup, there is always going to be a limited room for you to raise funds. So how are you going to raise funds in order to address the opportunity? Okay, that has to be very critical, and it is also important for you to now address cash flow more from an inflow point of view rather than an outflow point of view. So if these two things are taken care, going full throttle is not a wrong idea.
I'd like to sort of add to that, if I may. This is Matthew.
Sure.
Yeah. See, for example, let's take a simple thing. You are in Bombay right now, right? Let's say you have to offer the same thing in Mumbai, in Pune, and one other, say Nagpur. What does it take, and how much of cash would you require? What is the risk elements that you have? Okay, and
So,
then
sir,
yeah.
can I just answer that? Because just for your understanding, I already have presence in 28 cities. But
very
Mumbai,
good.
I can give you a better turnaround time because I do marketing here. Okay. So that is where it is. But today you want an ambulance in Pune, I'll arrange it for you. But instead of 20 minutes, it will take 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I can arrange it for you. You want an ambulance in Bihar, I'll arrange it for you. Okay. So we are already there because of our aggregation network.
So what is the challenge, Jitu, with respect to going full hog?
I need a marketing budget because I need to give trips to my ambulance partners so that they regularly trust me and do like I say.
Okay, so that's precisely where I'm coming from. It is more to address cash inflow rather than outflow. During this period, if it is, you have to address the marketing budget, not from a budget point of view, but from effort point of view. Is there a possibility to reduce cash outflow and increase effort? Maybe, yes. And should it be done by outsource agencies? May not be the right way, because end of the day there is a significant cash outflow also. Okay, and how much of increased efficiency you could work within your system is something which we would always recommend.
Jitu, if I may come in, Jitu, just one quick question I have. So, in terms of your runway, cash runway, how is it looking like? Will it
Can you be
go
a
for
little
6
louder? Your
months,
voice
8
is not
months?
Yeah, how does your cash runway look like?
Yeah, that's
the question.
Yeah.
You're asking how much I'm burning per month?
No, how long can you sustain?
How long can you sustain?
For another 8 months at least, without any funds.
And with this Bombay thing, have you seen any increase in efficiency? Any interesting stats that has changed?
I'm not able to hear you properly.
Oh, okay.
No, is this runway of 8 months also including increased sales, or is it
without any revenue?
Independent of
without any revenue, I can survive for 8 months.
Oh, that is good. So then you should definitely go all out.
Okay.
Jitu, this is Matthew again. I think if you have a runway of 8 months,
it's a good
situation, one, and you are seeing the opportunity come in, set aside a certain amount of that to look at how you can broadcast it in the current 28 cities you are. And in those 28, I'm saying don't go all out for 28. Pick and choose your battle in a few cities and see how you can get that intensive broadcast out.
Yeah.
That is what I would suggest.
And one more thing, Jitu, how long have you been in existence?
Almost more than 3 years, 3 months.
Fantastic. So you should definitely look out for a debt financing route through one of the foreign banks, Standard Chartered Bank. Okay, that could help you. That could help you, say, raise an unsecured loan of about 30 odd lakhs. Since you have completed 3.5 years, you could also reach out to someone like an Axis Bank or the State Bank of India and ask them for CGTMSE scheme, that is credit guarantee for SMEs. Okay, this allows you to take a loan up to 2 crores without collateral and without any collateral security, as well as personal guarantees.
Okay.
So
that's helpful.
Yeah, no, you should definitely reach out because I understand that you have completed 3 years. This is available for any company who has a 2-year balance sheet. Okay, and with the current positive business environment as far as you are concerned, you should definitely reach out to them after the lockdown is opened, relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
RK, question to you.
Yes, Matthew.
Can he not access some of the CSR funds from corporates and some of the larger ones? If more
it
people
will
are
take time, Matthew. At this point in time, CSR will take time. Now, with banks flush with liquidity, if there is a good case to be funded, there is always possibility that he could get funded.
And Jitu, I would say, if you have those things across, just get it across to RK. He's ex-Kotak and he's got a good network of this thing. We can sort of try and push it out. We can talk to other.
Sure.
Okay. And Jitu,
Sure,
again,
I'll do that.
quick question for you. How much is the actual
Yeah.
money you need to, sort of make that marketing broadcast? Is it 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, what?
It is more than that, honestly. We, at least for example, we are looking if we really want to capture the market right now and grow aggressively, because our competitor just raised 12 crores. And
Okay.
And their model is, in fact, they have standalone ambulances. They don't even need acquisition. Okay, we can reach out faster, go more aggressively. That is where it is. Okay.
So, Jitu, I would suggest that if it is a short-term requirement, you go to the loan route. If it is a longer-term requirement, it requires much more planning, and then it is better you reach the equity route, which could take you anywhere between 6 to 8 months to finally be successful. Okay. The critical part is to address this pandemic situation in a much more opportunistic and positive manner, so that is itself a case study for you to showcase. Okay. And it is important for you to address all those lacuna with respect lacuna with respect to processes within your system. If you are able to manage it during this high traffic period, that will be a very positive thing to showcase.
So yeah, we are able to do that, but that was the thing, that it's a big opportunity, and because of limited budgets, we are playing still not that aggressively or on a front
So
foot.
it is better reach out to the debt side. We could help
Okay.
you. Okay.
Sure.
And then we'll see what has to be done.
Sure, I will connect you with on
Guys,
the
I have just put on the chat RK's and my email ID and phone numbers. So just feel free. Don't hesitate. Okay.
Thanks,
Jitu,
thanks, appreciate it.
This looks good. Okay. I think there are ways around this. Okay.
Thanks. We'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll connect with you guys.
Yeah.
There were some more questions.
Rajni-
Nikanto? Yeah.
Yes, Rajni sir has a question. Go ahead, Rajni sir.
Yeah, good evening all. I'm
Yeah.
Rajneesh, co-founder for Revi Environmental Solutions.
Very
So as the name of the company suggests, that we are into a totally different space currently. But we do have inclination that we can also support some of the sectors of the healthcare in this pandemic of corona.
Okay.
We are divided on our opinion in the board. Should we take that approach or shouldn't we take that approach? We have limited cash reserves. Should we reserve it for the core business, which we intend to keep on doing after the pandemic is over? Or should we take a momentary pivot, get into the healthcare side, blow some money for developing the prototypes? And what will happen if the pandemic is over and then we have to return back to our core business?
Yes. So it's a very classic issue of opportunity versus sustainability. Okay.
So
Being
my question
on
is
the
that
yeah.
So my question is that being pragmatic at this situation is a way to go, or should we be driven by the way the water is currently flowing?
See, having been on the grayer side of my head, I would rather look at sustainability rather than yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you repeat, sir?
Yeah. Looking at the situation, being on the grayer side, I would look at sustainability rather than go for an opportunity of this type, because it could be a diversification just because an opportunity provides, rather than a necessary diversification.
And it has to be related also.
It has to be related.
Okay.
And in case you are just trying to use it, maybe you should give these skill sets to people, to those companies who could be in the business directly, so that whatever you wish to earn during this period can come in that form. The other way to look at is if you are looking at this as a long-term opportunity, yes, this could be the diversification part, and then you take it up seriously.
Yeah, I think actually why I'm asking this because we are in a very crucial juncture of getting investors on board also.
No, I would not
Don't do anything.
I would not attempt it at all.
Okay,
No,
thank you.
definitely
answers
not.
my question, sir. Thank you.
Definitely not at this stage if you think so. Don't do anything to dramatically change this. I'd like to share one example of one of the firms that we had worked with, the Wadhwani Foundation. This was a firm which was pre-COVID, was doing a lot of business on cloth cotton bags, and they had DMart and others as clients and building up really well. With COVID coming in, they pivoted to add on masks, and they started getting orders from hospital and stuff. That's what I meant by related. If the innovation is related and the opportunity is related to your core line of business, it's worth taking a punt. But if it is in a totally, just because there is a new opportunity, going and evaluating it and all of that, you'll be burning more money. Back to our case, Funda, about conserving. Don't don't try and pivot just because there is an opportunity. You could lose out a lot more.
So in summary, you say it will be prudent to focus on the core competency,
100%. 100%.
and build on the current situation, build on the internal mechanism and
Yes.
processes.
Yeah.
Be ready
Please.
for when the lockdown is over.
Yeah.
Please, that is the best thing.
Yeah,
And believe me, there is going to be a V-shaped recovery. The opportunities will be much more pronounced, and you would be able to tap into your thing at that point in time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
if you see a related one like what we've seen among the cases that Ekanto you showed, if it is in the related area or close to that, then it's fine. Take charge of the opportunity. Else, ride the wave.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, we are all hoping for a very sharp V-shaped recovery, and I think that's what's keeping all of us going at this point of time.
So let me just respond to that. See, while the hope, Priyank was it who spoke? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Priyank, see, we always say this when we are planning, okay?
Right.
Plan for worst case, but
Yeah.
hope for the best.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so you don't plan with saying, 20th May ho jayega and all of that. No, it doesn't work like that. You
Yeah.
plan for worst case always. That's our principle for business planning, and plan for multiple scenarios. Okay, but you hope for the best. Make
Right.
sense?
No, thank you. Thank you for all your encouragement and all the lovely inputs that are coming through in this conversation.
Cool.
So Ankit, Abhishek, Nikhil, any one of you have any queries?
I have a question.
Yeah, Nikhil, go on.
Hello everyone. Hello, Ashish. Hello, Matthew.
Yeah, Nikhil.
Hey, hi.
I have two questions. I'm the founder of Krimanshi Feeds. We are into unconventional animal feed sector. We're facing two major problems. The first one is of receivables. We have over 40 lakhs in receivables from farmers and small retailers, and we are worried that would we be able to recover everything or not, seeing this COVID pandemic, because they are situated from 50 to 100 kilometers from our base, and right now we are not able to travel. And after the lockdown is over, maybe on 3rd May, or even if it's extended, we are not sure how much we'll be able to get back.
Have you supplied to FPOs or individual farmers?
Individual farmers and retailers.
And retailers.
Yes.
What's the split for retailers and individual farmers broadly?
Retailers 70, farmers 50%.
Okay.
Okay. What percentage of your thing is for individual farmers of your receivables?
30% we have seen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is
one of the good things which is happening now is there's a lot more action on the rural side.
Mhm.
Okay, so the government is definitely trying to propel the rural economy for two issues. One is an opportunity. The other is to address a major problem. When I'm saying opportunity, there is very clear evidence that the monsoon is going to be normal, and traditionally India's economy has been propelled by the spend from the rural side. So I believe that there will be more spend happening on that front with direct money transfers, so on and so forth. Post the lockdown being removed, it is very important for you guys to reach out to those farmers and see how much of that you can recoup. While I believe it is going to be a long haul, maybe anywhere between 3 to 6 months also, but I don't think there should be a major write-off happening on that front. Okay. While I'm not clear about the history of your company, how it has fared with the farmers earlier, it would be good to know that. Okay, but by and large, I feel whether it is the retailer, because the retailers are also going to be impacted because of this stimulus, the stimulus 2.0, which is expected from the government very soon. Okay, and that will be focused more on the rural side. The reason being, there's a problem which India is going to face because of the reverse migration. The people from the urban areas have gone back to the rural side, and more of them are now moving over there. If that happens, the rural consumption is going to be significantly higher. Consumption is going to become local. And when that happens, money has to be there for them, not only to enable them to create demand, but also to feed them. Okay, so I believe government is cognizant of the situation, and they are going to focus all their energies towards that. Yeah, your second question.
Nikhil, just a minute. Nikhil, this is Matthew again. Nikhil, again, if it is in terms of, see, there's no point, like I said, no, you'll have to bite it out, like RK also said, bite it out and see how it pans out in terms of packages and stuff. Don't get, don't make any hasty moves. In your case, maybe you'll have to just, be still and hold on and see how it pans.
And are there subsidies? There should be some subsidies attached to these animal feeds. Is there part of your deal with the retailers?
Subsidies are like subsidies from government, or
yeah.
Subsidies from government are basically in the manufacturing part, putting up of manufacturing plant.
No, but there were something related to this also, no, for the animal feed side.
Yeah, so if you put up a new animal feed plant,
okay.
For manufacturing, RK, isn't there something?
So you're more of a trader. You buy and sell, is it?
No, the plant is already there. We are manufacturing, that is there.
Okay.
But our working capital is stuck now. We have 40 lakhs in receivables from the farmers.
Okay. And do you have any arrangement with for this working capital? Do you have a facility?
We don't have. We were talking to one of the NBFC, Samunati Finance. We were almost closing the deal on 50 lakhs of debt funding.
Okay.
But it was in February last week. But it got stalled because of this COVID outbreak.
And they will not. They will lend you. So don't worry about it, because they have to see. There are a few things which are happening on the lending side as well. Their liquidity is now enhanced. Today's Reserve Bank policy announcements, the stimulus announcements are significantly positive on the liquidity side. Okay, although I'm still not sure about how much of demand is going to come. With this, they will definitely lend you. It is very critical for you to go and collect. Even if you have to give some discounts, go ahead, give those discounts and collect. So when I'm saying discounts, you could go up to the level of whatever interest rate you would have otherwise paid. And go and give those discounts and get the money in. Cash in is a great situation to be in.
Okay, a quick question for you. Now, in this situation, now when he has about 30% with farmers, do you see a sort of a exposure / risk? And secondly, what should be his strategy with regard to the other retailers that he's got?
They are his customers. See, being in animal feed, these are the people who are his channels. There is no way he could live without them. It is better to maintain those relationships. This is an issue for him as well as for the customer. The only thing which you should try to prevail upon is there is one social problem which has now crept into the system. anyone coming from a city is being viewed as a COVID carrier. Okay, the villagers are now very paranoid about the whole situation. So please address that more from a relationship perspective rather than a business perspective. As much as possible, go down to the level of cutting down on your margins, even if it is to the extent of interest rate which you would have otherwise paid. Try to bring in as much as money in. This is something which is easier said than done, but that is the way forward.
No, I think you brought out a very interesting social issue which has emerged, which is about people from the villages people from the cities not being welcomed into the villages, and similarly, for the first time in the cities, people who've come from abroad are really so this is it's been the joke in multiple WhatsApp forwards too, but really going abroad is no longer the cool thing.
It's nothing. Absolutely.
Yeah. See, I have a question for some of y'all on this. Some of y'all facing a existential crisis in terms of, oh my God, my business is gone. For example, I see some of y'all are in waste management and stuff like that. Are y'all hit by this? If so, what are you planning to do?
Yes, definite hit, because we cannot produce, we cannot sell. I mean, our business is to not directly waste management. It's for providing solution for wastewater treatment. So we have core bacterial consortia which we market. We have formulations which is used by ETP and STP. So all has come to halt.
Well, I saw a couple of ones. I think it was in there was waste management from slaughterhouse and stuff like that. Is
exactly
that
Mr. Matthew? I would like to inform you about the problem they are facing. They couldn't join in today, but because of labor issues which they are facing right now, so they have in Kerala they have around 200 migrant laborers who work in their plant, and for now they had made arrangements for them to stay back as per the government norms, but the migrant laborers want to leave. So it is like in a form of the migrant laborers have just revolted, and they are now trying to handle the labor issue, which is like again back to the olden days. So they are really disturbed with the situation. So if you could share something.
Yeah. So let me just try and think that, for example, see, one of the key things that we are facing is also the whole hospitality sector. Okay. Especially, we had the hotels, restaurants, all of this. They had people and apartment complexes and offices. They had vendors who were doing waste management pickup and stuff like that. Those social organizations have been hit hard because your source of inflowing material is actually gone. Okay, and it's going to take some time based on what we're seeing. The restaurants and other hospitality sector will take some time to come back up. So what do we do then? I'm saying that is where you have to think. These businesses have to look at a certain pivot there. Okay, a slight pivot in terms of who's your target audience. You have to go back to the business continuity planning on what do we do next? What is adjacent? Okay, and this problem about migrant laborers is, see, there is an opportunity there as well, because there are enough of, especially with Kerala, Ekanto, there are enough of people who have been displaced from other sectors. So related areas people are available. So this is the time to keep looking at different options. Okay, migrant labor might go. Who are the others I can employ in? There are, for example, I know auto drivers and cab drivers who've been out of business, and they'll be ready to get into this type of work. Okay, maid servants have not been getting back to work. So we'll have to constantly keep innovating in terms of options available. Constantly. Okay.
Right.
So that is what I'm trying to say. Okay.
Yeah, Matthew. Absolutely correct.
Abhishek, you too had a query, right?
I have one more question, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Ekanto.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
Good evening, all of you, sir. Here since beginning of the call. So I have heard a lot of shout and discussion, and even suggestions and questions. I have a little different discussion here, because as you know that in this situation the medical need is gone up, and especially in our business we are into telemedicine, so things are quite better now, because government has also launched its own guidelines about the same. So things are pretty much okay, and luckily we are getting various response from the industry, and demands also. So that is all very nice for us, and we are working on that. What happening in this situation is, as per our capacity, we are getting as per our queries coming, businesses coming, it is more than whatever capacity we have. And at this moment we are not even able to hire resources. Mostly the most important thing was call center, that is also off due to all these things. So things are disturbing at this end. So I just want to know from your side, like is this demand or things are especially for this situation only, or do you also consider this thing for a longer period? Because now after COVID, nobody knows, everybody is guessing. So I can guess X, number is Y. So things are like this, both side will be possible. So as per in my business, what is your suggestion, sir? How we have to go first? And the second is, at this moment we are really in need of funding, because we have everything. I mean, we are getting business, we are having a good solution, products and all. So these are the two things, how in this situation we have to target or to connect with the VCs and all, and where we have to connect in this situation. That's it, sir.
Sorry, this is who was this talking? Nikhil, is it?
No, my name is Abhishek, sir. I am from Doc OPD. We are into telemedicine.
So Abhishek, can you just elaborate a little bit on having problems with the call center folks?
Yeah, so sir, actually what we do, we are into telemedicine. So people mostly is non-tech, and they face a lot of problems. So we are reaching to rural area and remotest area also. There people are having a less technology and technical skill. So in that case, our call center works to replace that technical, dependencies. So in that case, our tech call center can connect these people with the doctors, and the consultation will be happen. So they are actually doing the hand holding for this situation. So this is why we require the call centers.
So what I'm saying is there a challenge in getting people to operate out of their current homes as call center folks?
Yeah, obviously,
Can
sir,
you have
this
a
is not.
distributed?
So it's not happening as it was, and plus we were having a capacity of X. Now it is like 4X, right? Demand is 4X.
Okay.
So this is the different problem, where we are not able to hire another resource, and we don't know how to hire and how to get more people to have this kind of thing. So that
okay.
is,
So here. So let me try and I'll try and just address the thing about how you can try and look at options for the call center type of folks, while RK will talk about the fundraising. Okay, I think, see, for example, on the call center type, there are enough of folks from domestic services, whether it is whether it is financial services, call centers, from banks, etc., who are benched now. Okay. And so I'm saying, if you can figure a mechanism to reach out to those folks particularly, okay, and that can come in from targeted messaging to those guys, saying, hey, we have an opportunity here and you can operate from here, and then you figure out how to get the calls across to them, and a little bit of training online. So I'm saying that's an easier problem to try and handle. Okay, RK, you just want to weigh in on the fundraising thing which he was talking about?
Yeah, on the fundraising thing, I have also posted on the chat box. The current environment is pretty negative as far as investor fundraising is concerned. Okay, whether it is angel investors or funds, they are sitting on cash but are not keen in investing. They would want to definitely see where this all ends, and more importantly, how well we are prepared for the environment post COVID. Unfortunately, they also don't have a clue. Neither do we have. Okay. The critical thing at this point in time is, or rather, at most points, is for us to see how much of cash flow can come through customer engagements. Okay, it is important for us to see how much is there a way that we could reduce our margins and acquire more customers? Yes, that will help. Okay, because during difficult times, these are the things which will help you sustain. The other thing is most of the times it is the founders. Okay, I have also been a founder in my earlier days. So it has been we focus more on valuation. Okay, most of the times the investors are not interested in getting directly into an equity relationship. They are more concerned about the effort and the translation of that effort into money, and basis that they are always focused on milestone based convertibility. And with the newer instruments like iSafe notes and so on and so forth, they are more comfortable in giving a lifeline to the companies rather than looking at it as something of a valuation game. So there is a definite shift from investor mindset also. It is important for you to focus more on value creation than valuation at this point in time.
Yeah, and Abhishek, a couple of things more just to add on. Like RK has already mentioned in the chat, debt funding for mature firms or which have attraction is still there are deals happening, and like RK said, there is funds available for that, liquidity for that. Okay, there was another thing which you said is this sort of demand going to be sustained going forward? And saying, see, you take it one step at a time. You are seeing increased demand right now. Okay, manage with your cost for what is it that you can take on. So if you say that, hey, you know what, I'm getting extra demand for 10 more people, stay with that.
Yeah.
And that could sustain. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
And more importantly, if this situation calls for work from home relationship, please do that. Get into those relationships with a lot of people who are now likely to be laid off.
Yeah, so I'll take that further.
Abhishek, call you back.
Okay, so take that further, because even after the COVID thing, after the lockdown is lifted, there will still be a significant population of qualified workers who will be fitting into your time frame. Okay,
Yeah.
You take it step by step. Let's say the opportunity set is for say 50 folks. You start with taking on 10 folks. Sustain that, because that demand anyway will sustain. And like RK said, okay, the demand is anyway going to, has to pick up going forward, because that is when the whole economy cycle will start moving in. RK?
Yeah, absolutely, Mitch.
So, sir, again, I am extending this, conversation to another, statement that do you still believe as a group that, whatever technology adoption is happening in this situation may sustain of some percentage, may sustain in going forward and maybe 1 year down the line or something?
Okay, so let me try and address that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so let me just try and address that. Who's going first, RK? You go.
You.
Okay. So let me try and get that going. Okay. See, let's put it this way, Abhishek. The way work has been happening now, pre-COVID, and what's going to happen post-COVID is definitely here to stay. Organizations are realizing that work from home and dispersed teams can happen. Travel is not so much required. Okay. People, so that is, it's definitely bound to come in. So it's not like we'll go back to what we were earlier. So we will have to find productivity enhancing mechanisms. Technology for distributed teams will have to get deployed. Okay. And that's why I'm saying you don't need a call center in one place. You start thinking differently. Start thinking in terms of having your call center at dispersed places. Your training might not have to happen in face-to-face in your training room. It will have to happen virtually. Okay. So those new normals will be here to stay going forward without a doubt. Okay. So expect changes in terms of the way people are functioning, in way technology will be used. And in fact, RK and we've been talking to a very large NBFC where they are saying that even in terms of how the training for their teams, motivating the teams, that is definitely undergoing a change. Yeah, RK?
Yeah.
You want to add on?
Yeah, see, when I look at it from what is in store, since I'm more of a numbers guy and analyzing things, my expectation is the economy cannot turn around pretty soon. Anywhere between 12 to 18 months is something which I personally expect. And more importantly, this particular situation is there are two issues. One is how to try and address the immediate problem of the infected. The second phase of the solutions could be how to make people more immune and ensure that the vaccines and so on and so forth are penetrated into the system. And the third phase is about how to revive the completely smashed economy. So it will take us anywhere between 12 to 18 months by the time we see the demand being similar to what it was, say, in the 2016 period. Mind you, we have been in an economic downtrend since 2017. So it is not, this is nothing new, but the way the pandemic has hit, it is something much more than what we have all expected.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ikanto, more questions or?
I don't see any more questions on the chat. Nikhil, you have a question. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for your take on the valuation part. Other than that, what could we expect from the government grants? So we have again 30 lakhs plus committed from center and state governments. And since now all of the funds are being used for COVID relief, could we expect anything coming from government in the next 3 to 6 months? Or
see, the grants may not be there may not be much emphasis from the grants per se from a economic revival point of view. Grants are going to be focused more on the containment of the disease, because if you see what has happened is PM CARES fund is also focused on containment rather than economic stimulus. The economic stimulus has to essentially come out of the government's coffers, that is more hitting the fiscal side. It will come, but not in the form of grants. It will be more related to giving money to the hands of the people, thereby creating a demand for all your products and services. From your side, yes, there are certain avenues which have been opened up. Unfortunately for startups, there was a fund by which was in the hands of SIDBI, but now SIDBI is more focused towards seeing how liquidity can be put into the NBFC's hands. So for startups who are at least mature, say about 3 years old, one, definitely reach out to banks, reach out to non-banking finance companies who could give you a 3-year loan, which is an unsecured loan. Definitely reach out to banks for the CGT MSE scheme, which is a 2 crore limit. Okay, for all those companies which are focused on manufacturing, there is definitely possibility of getting funds either through SIDBI or through State Bank of India, because they are now giving funds for purchase of equipments, which could enhance their services, as well as for capital expenditure. So some of these things can be attempted. Okay, but the critical part, which is the working capital facilities, unfortunately, there is not much which is available for the smaller companies. There are certain benefits which are provided through various platforms. In case you are registered as an MSME, you could reach out to the TREDS platform, which is factoring the invoice discounting platform. But this is focused more on large corporates who are your customers. So if you are providing goods and services to your customers who are large corporates, this TREDS platform, which is a very good platform for as far as invoice discounting is concerned, you could definitely reach out to them.
Thank you so much, Ramkrishnan sir and Mr. Matthew.
Yeah, and any individual questions you guys want to ask, you can always reach out to us on our emails or phone. We would be happy to answer, and you could reach out to, at any point in time, right?
Yeah, I see some significant opportunities for some of you all, especially on related areas.
Yeah.
So yeah, feel free, please.
So thank you so much, sirs, for taking out time for us. And Priyank, I would like to ask you to kindly deliver a vote of thanks.
So, no, I think this has been absolutely insightful, and it's been a very, very healthy conversation. I know that there have been a lot of frustrations and a lot of anxiety and concerns around how the business will grow, survive, and other related operational issues. And I think they were beautifully answered by both Mr. Venkateshwaran and Mr. Matthew. And I really want to thank them for their contribution to our discussion today. I also want to reach out to all the startups, all of our incubators, to say that we are going through truly exceptional times. This is truly unprecedented. Nobody ever expected. Nobody while we can plan for contingency. I think this has gone beyond anybody's expectations, and we need to stick it out together. And sticking it out together makes it somewhat easier. And that's the commitment that I want to make to all of you, that as you navigate through these tough waters, let's stick it out together. And like Mr. Arke was saying, we need to collaborate and co-create. And I think that's where we will all have to be together.
Yeah.
To our startups, Ekanto has been in touch with you for many weeks now, and so has Manish sir. And we've been wanting to do an event where we get all of you together in Delhi and sort of celebrate your journey so far, and also call a number of our investor friends and mentor friends and ecosystem partners. But unfortunately, for reasons well known to all of us, we haven't been able to do that. So I want to take this opportunity, this particular collective webinar where all of us are together, to say thank you for your active participation, to be involved in this cohort, and to contribute meaningfully to all our meetups and to our classes. We will formally be closing the cohort now. But we are available to all of you at all times, 24/7, and that's a commitment that I'm making on behalf of my team, for any help and support that you need. And then as soon as times are better, as soon as things look up, we would love to have you back in Delhi and in our campus or somewhere else, where we can celebrate and enjoy the journey and the recovery that your businesses are going through and are going to have very soon. So with that, thank you very much. A big thank you to Ekanto for leading this particular initiative, to Manish sir. And I also want to mention that our patron, the Holistic Group, Ankit Gupta, who's not on the call at the moment, but he's been an incredible support to us and every step of the way, and does a lot to support us, not just with his resources, but also with his time and with his network and contacts. So a big thank you and shout out to him, and of course to the leadership team at Ashoka University. So thank you, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. It was a good,
Great session.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew and Ramkrishnan. Thank you, Priyank. Thank you, Manish sir. Thank you all for joining in. The recording would be available on your calendar invites. I would also be sending out a separate email for that,
Please, thank you so much.
in case you would have missed it. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. लीव मीटिंग कैसे है? हाँ लिखा हुआ था है ना। Mhm.